friends, welcome back to my channel. We're here today for day 3 of Vlogmas, or as we sing around these parts, the most wonderful time of the day. Hi. How are you doing?
I'm good.
You're good? Okay, fantastic. Can't you say hi to the people? Alright, go back and paint. I soon come, okay? Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. We're here today for day 3 of Vlogmas, or as we sing around these parts, the most wonderful time of the day.
What color is this?
That's the color red. It's an apple. And we also use red for Christmas. Okay. We're here for day 3 of Vlogmas, another round of book lists. So, show the people, ask them what color is it.
What color is this?
What color is this?
It's red.
It's red. What fruit is that? What is that fruit?
Strawberry.
It's a strawberry. You like strawberries? Okay, fantastic. Okay, so we're here for another round of book list. So the New York Times just published their list of the 10 best books of 2022, and I have read not many of them, but we're not going to do that list. We're going to go through the list for 2021 and 2020 to give ourselves a fighting chance, because if you're like me, you want to read new releases, but you don't always get to them.
Mommy, what color is it?
What color is that?
Yellow.
It's yellow. Are you going to go back and paint? Or should I put the paint away? If you're like me, you don't always read new releases when they're new releases. So, to give ourselves a fighting chance is what I was thinking. Let's go through the list. New York Times best books of 2021. Let's see how we do. Maybe we did this list last year. Maybe we didn't. I'm not so sure. In any case, first book on the New York Times list for 2021 is How Beautiful We Were by Mbola Buie. I read this earlier this year. It was a finalist for the BookTube Prize. But long before that, the publishers had sent it to me when it was a new release, and I didn't read it. So maybe we should be reading new releases is what I'm saying. Second book on the list is Intimacies by Katie Kitamura. I did not read. I didn't read. I've seen it so many times. I've thought about it several times, but I just haven't gotten to it yet. But the third book on the list is one of my favorites. It's The Love Songs of W.E.B. Du Bois by Honoré Fannin Jeffers. Have read, I've loved, I have hyped. What else can I say about this book? If you haven't yet read this, if you don't get a point because you haven't read The Love Songs of W.E.B. Du Bois by Honoré Fannin Jeffers, then consider this to be your sign. Like, do you need a sign that says read this book? This is your sign. Read this book. I'm joking. There's no pressure here. Maybe a little bit of pressure. The fourth book on the list, No One Is Talking About This by Patricia Lockwood. I have not read. When We Cease to Understand the World by Benjamin Labatut, translated by Adrian Nathan West, is the fifth book on the list. I have not read it. I don't think I've even ever seen this book. Yeah, I don't know that. I don't know that title. Another book, another nonfiction, The Copenhagen Trilogy, Childhood Youth Dependency by Tove Ditlevsen, translated by Tina Nunnally and Michael Favalo Goldman. Not familiar with this title either. I feel so bad. But the next book on the list I have read, How the Word is Passed, A Reckoning with the History of Slavery Across America by Clint Smith. I read it, won the BookTube Prize in the nonfiction category, and I read it. When I started reading that book, I said, yeah, this book should win, and I've maintained that feeling all the way I was reading it. So that was my top pick when I was judging the BookTube Prize round that I read that for. I think I read it in the semifinals, and I love that book. Next book on the list is Invisible Child, Poverty. Okay, thank you. Oh, this is nice. It's beautiful. My daughter made a painting. Ooh, it's fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next book on the list is Invisible Child, Poverty, Survival, and Hope in an American City by Andrea Elliott. I did not know the title, but I've seen this cover. So I should read this book. I should read this book. I should read that book. On Juneteenth by Annette Gordon Reed is the next title on this list, and I haven't read it. But that's not surprising because I also haven't read Juneteenth by Ralph Ellison, which I've been meaning to do. So I'm going to get to it. Next on the list is Red Comet, The Short Life and Blazing Art of Sylvia Plath. by Heather Clark. I haven't read this. I just this year read The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. So I haven't read a huge biography on her life. So no, I haven't read a lot of those books, but I did read 3. So no, I haven't read a lot of those, but I did read 3 of the top 10 books of 2021 according to the New York Times. So should we go through the list for 2020? I think we should. So here are the books from the 2020 list from the New York Times. Children's Bible by Lydia Millett. I have not read. Deacon King Kong by James McBride. I have not read. Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. I did read. It was assigned to me in the BookTube Prize judging, and I read it. Homeland Elegies by Ayad Akhtar. I have not read. The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. I have read. Pleased to say I read that, and not because I was judging. I bought a copy and then I read it, and it was fantastic. The next title is Hidden Valley Road by Robert Kolker. I have not read. A Promised Land by Barack Obama. I have read. The publisher sent this to me, and I read this book over the course of something like 10 days and loved it. Love that book. So for 2020, I'm not doing so bad, right? Then there's Shakespeare in a Divided America by James Shapiro. I have not read. Uncanny Valley by Anna Wiener. I did read. This was also assigned to me for the BookTube Prize. See, I wasn't sure if I was going to judge all the rounds of the BookTube Prize, but I think now I will, because reading for the BookTube Prize forces me kind of to read some of these books, or at least to prioritize them. Like I said, I don't always get to new releases when they're new releases, but at least the BookTube Prize helps me read them the next year. And then there's War by Margaret Macmillan, which I have not read. So from the 2020 list, I read Hamnet, I read The Vanishing Half, I read Promised Land, and I read Uncanny Valley. So that's 4 and 3. I read 7 books out of 20. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below how many of these books you've read, and if you read new releases, when they're new releases. So thank you so much for watching this video. We'll be back tomorrow with another opportunity to go through a book list and see how many of the books we've read and whether or not we're using these as prompts to read them now. So yeah, until we come back for another video, happy reading. Bye.